clock.
That clock's slow.
Welcome, everyone, to tonight's Piqua City Special Commission meeting for Monday, May the 8th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Would you all stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pearson,
Here.
Vice Mayor Lee,
Here.
Commissioner Hines,
Here.
Commissioner Vetter,
Here.
Commissioner Grissom.
Here.
All right. Moving into old business, ordinance number O-4-23, emergency.
An emergency ordinance to amend ordinance number O-18-22 for amendment of appropriations for the city of Piqua, Ohio for the year 2023.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commissioners. We are required to present and pass our amended 2023 annual budget reappropriation. This is due in part to any changes that occur after the original budget had been approved. Supplemental reappropriation allows us to more effectively and accurately reflect changes that are made in our financial statements. We also request waiving the third reading of this amended appropriation and pass this evening to meet deadlines and maintain dates for grant dollars and funding sources already included in these appropriations. Please refer to the exhibit for detailed explanation of the changes, but as stated last week, the change is specifically pulling $300,000 back into the general fund from a fund that we are no longer purchasing property out of and transferring a $750,000 appropriation out of the general fund to the Parks Fund.
Right. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from commission?
I'm curious about, are there any funds being taken out of the current appropriation for the Parks Department for this activity?
No, the reappropriation is adding in additional funding to the parks from the general funds.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Any other comments from commission? Are there comments or questions from our citizens?
My name's Joe Wilson, 211 West Green. I was on the commission when we voted for this originally. It was presented kind of like, you remember the movie Field of Dreams, where they built the ballpark and then they promised people would come. Well, that's kind of what Gary Huff told us at the time, that if we did this project, we would help to revitalize the downtown and the city. We would help bring in investment to the downtown and help bring people in from out of town to visit our city and visit the whole area. So based on that viewpoint, from when we started back, whatever year that was, to today, what have we attracted based on the development of Lock 9 Park, at least the promise of it, not the actual development yet. So I was just writing down some businesses that have come down specifically or primarily because of this promised development, which I hope we'll keep our word on. Obviously, the Winans moving to the old Piqua Daily Call building was the initial one that came because of that park area. Of course, they added a brewing building next to it. They added a office downtown across from the Crooked Handler area. Later, a group came in promising condos on Water Street specifically because of the Lock 9 Park development. The office space across the street from there has been developed, I'm sure, primarily because of the Lock 9 development. The Edison building, I call it the Edison building, I don't know, I think you know what that is. Obviously, they wanted to be there because of all the activity there. You add lemon meringue, you add the new parking lot that was developed primarily to help the overflow from Lock 9 Park, great service to downtown. You've got the tattoo parlor across the street. I don't know what their deal was, but they're there. I can't say for sure they were there primarily for that, but I'm guessing it was a factor. And last, if not least, well, I should say the Lucky's investment, from what I understand, they spent a lot of money. It's a beautiful building, primarily due to the promise from the city that we would put in Lock 9 Park. And there was also a little development called Crooked Handle that you may have heard of. They've spent, I understand, $2 million. And I think when we were first talking to them at the city level, kind of reminded me of dating. We went out a few dates. We made a lot of promises. We said, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. Now we're married. The honeymoon's over. Now we're thinking, well, I don't know about all that. Now that we're married, maybe don't have to do all that stuff that I promised that I would do. So I think we do owe the whole downtown area to keep our promise that we kept. If you look over, in fact, I was there over the weekend at Crooked Handle, and outside looking over at Lock 9, it looks like a kind of a demolition site right now because of all the work that's been done. And if we leave it like that, it would be embarrassing, and I don't know what our word would be to future developments who would come in and say, well, you're telling us you're going to do this and this and this, but down here you failed to redo an area that you promised to do, and that's what we relied on to make the investment. So I just hope you'll remember the promise of what we did in the past, the current promises we've kept going to the public, and please vote for this and continue the investment that will follow this. We're not done with investment down there, you know that. And of course the grants and all the other things that we will have to give back, and then that affects our application for grants in the future. When you refuse a grant that you receive, then the next time you ask, they kind of look at you funny because of your past behavior. So I would hope you'll vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Good evening, Jeff Lang, 9586 North State Route 66. I am all in favor of making these reappropriations to the Park Board for these monies to get Lock 9 development going along. It is direly needed, especially to hook downtown and Main Street Piqua and all the businesses on Main Street. Let's review for a second some geography, if you don't mind. Lock 9 is the closest, this downtown section is, to the river.
Right.
Pretty obvious. It's in the
Others
bend of
want
the
to
river.
be yes.
Yes. Okay. Also, Lock 9 and Crooked Handle have stellar views upriver and downriver, and also of the railroad bridge and the bike path, which hopefully will be open soon again for bicycle traffic. Lock 9 future development, I think, will include, hopefully, a place for people to come down the river in their canoes and kayaks, stop, get out safely, go into downtown, pick up some wine and candies, pick up some coffee, stop at Susie's Big Dipper, get an ice cream, do some shopping downtown at our fine shops, and possibly have lunch somewhere, dinner somewhere, and hopefully a cold beer at Crooked Handle. But Crooked Handle is an anchor in this curve of this river, in this closest point to downtown. And it's scenic. It's got some mature stands of trees on it right now. We got history there with Miami Area Canal and Lock 9. We have some of those beautiful exposed limestone slabs that people carved 160, 170 years ago by hand that are exposed there. It's going to be stellar. We have the plan of having a water feature in there for our kids to enjoy. It's an anchor in a corner of the river closest to our downtown. I ask that this commission pass this measure, and I hope that everybody supports the initiative by the owners of Crooked Handle and all of our businesses downtown so that our businesses can grow and development in downtown will grow, because there is no other city on the Great Miami River that has what we have in that corner and this anchor point with Lock 9. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Bridget Combs. This is Megan Williams. We're managers over at Crooked Handle. I know a lot of people in this room have been talking about Crooked Handle, and I just wanted to bring our perspective a little. Megan and I both do not live in this community. We chose to come here because of the potential of Crooked Handle and Lock 9 Park. Her and I both love the outdoors. We're huge kayakers and love to go on the bike path and take nature trails with our kids. So Lock 9 and Crooked Handle kind of seemed like it fit both of us perfectly, along with the management team and the owners, of course. But Megan has some things that she would like to voice as well.
Well, I am a woman of facts, so I just wanted to present maybe some facts that can maybe help you see our perspective. There's a lot of benefits to city parks in general, not just here, but any city that you put them in. I know that we've already touched several times that they strengthen the economy by bringing in job opportunities, residents, businesses. But there's also other benefits as well. They decrease health costs by encouraging physical activity and reducing physical and mental health problems. They increase community engagement and interaction, which in turn reduces crime. The open green areas also reduce air and water pollution. And of course, we've also kind of touched on the fact that they increase tourism, which generates sales activity for all the local businesses as well. Just some numbers for you. According to the National Recreation and Park Association, just in Ohio alone, in 2019, the impact that local parks and recreation have, they brought 43,306 jobs, 2,160,222,072 in labor income increases, 3,419,555,293 in value to the communities, including property income, property values, those types of things. And then also increased economic activity by 7,047,862,139. Glad I got through those numbers. But just to give you some perspective on really how much a city park can bring to the community and how much that it can do for you on a city level, a state level as well, and just really kind of help everyone out across the board. And Crooked Handle really wants to support the community of Piqua in several ways by doing sponsorships, events. We hope to bring the community together in several different ways, and I think Lock 9 Park would help us do that as well.
Yeah, that's it. And also, thank you. I look around, I see so many faces that are familiar. People have welcomed us with open arms, and we have a bunch of regulars, which is incredible. And with the park, it'll just add to that and bring more families in, so.
And we really have appreciated everyone's support here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hi.
Good evening. My name is Mike Brundle. I am a resident of Miami County, Concord Township, 450 Swales Road. But I'm also a corporate resident at 1 Kettering Way with Piqua, Kettering Health Piqua Medical Center campus. I'm here to speak to you on both of those points, but in greater part about the desocialization that we experience here in America. You can say that it was brought on by COVID. Some would add that it may have been brought on by some of the smart devices that we walk around with. Others would say it even started back with electronic mail. I will message somebody through an email versus talking to them. But what we know for fact that has come out over the last 10 years is that we have an increase in the rate of depression of 13%. We have suicides up by over 5.6%. And that's young and old, and unfortunately it's in the age 13 to 19 range, as well as the 35 to 45-year-old range. And the large part of the attribution of that is because of the desocialization that we've experienced, and COVID only exacerbated that. So what can we do to bring forward an antidote or to combat that? And it's to create a sense of belonging. Don't you feel better when you belong to somebody or something or have that higher purpose? And that's my ask of the commission, to approve this so that we can create more of that sense of belonging in our great town of Piqua. And that will reach beyond just Piqua. I've traveled over 35,000 miles on top of a two-wheeler. I love to motorcycle ride, and I've been through many, many a town that is shrinking or has shrunk so that you can barely see it anymore. As the comments before illustrate, if we don't make positive moves forward and grow and bring something forward to our communities and our businesses, we will be like those towns. I last traveled America's loneliest highway, US 50, and I kid you not, we went for 3 hours without seeing another vehicle. US 50 used to be one of the most highly trafficked routes in the country, and the towns along that road are dead. Thank goodness for national parks along the way as well. So on a personal note, my wife Debbie and I moved up here almost 2 years ago, and we love this place. And I think more people will find that as we have things that we can do outside with our kids and with our grandkids, and hopefully extended family beyond that. Thank you for hearing my request to approve this measure.
Thank you.
I guess my question, oh, go right ahead. I had a question. People have been asking, or been stating, and I've been getting messages, that the bottom line numbers with this aren't transparent, but they are. We've got them, they're in the packet, they're online, correct? And people can see that we can't afford this, but with anything comes a risk, but am I correct in asking that question?
Yes, I would agree with you. This can be risky. We are going to, like I said, pull from the general fund revenues. We may have to make some adjustments, right? That's what you do with budgeting, though. When you anticipate money to be spent in one location and it's going to be spent somewhere else, then you just have to make those adjustments to make it work.
Tighten the belt, yes.
Yeah, our leadership team is on board. We are all taking looks at things. We're discussing that next week at leadership meeting about some additional changes and such. As it stands at the moment, with the way 2023 is already approved as a budget, phase 2 can be covered, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy Sherman, 2325 Whitetail. I won't reiterate the items that I covered last week, but I would ask the commissioners, you represent the people of the community. I'm sure you get a lot of emails, you get a lot of phone calls. You also have a lot of people who have been here for 2 meetings. They've sat in the commission chambers, and 99% of those comments, of those coming up and speaking to you directly, have been for this project. I would ask that you listen to those positive comments, again, 99% of them, and ask that you vote for this project and wait until you see what your fruits are at the end of this. You'll be amazed, I'm sure. I know I'm going to be, and I can't wait till we can cut a ribbon and open the park. So again, just asking you to vote based on the comments that you're getting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. Lorna Swisher with Main Street Piqua. I made the mistake of going on Facebook this weekend, and I saw a lot of comments about, we just want to be like Troy. And needless to say, I'm not a big fan of that phrase. But what I really want to say is there's already a Troy. There's already a Sydney. And we're Piqua. And I believe that this investment is an investment in us and our community. And no disrespect intended, yes, it will bring other people into our community, but it will bring our community together. We have events, we can't wait to bring Rock Piqua back to Lock 9 Park and other projects like, events like that. But at the end of the day, it's an investment in us and who we are. So, not going to go through everything I went through like Kathy from last week, but just ask you to strongly consider a favorable vote for this one. Thank you.
Mindy Gregerson, 415 North Main. Everybody that's come up here has just said everything that I've thought. And we've had so many businesses and other people putting money back into this town. And I know, you know, I've done the same with my building. Now, please, please, vote and pass this so that we can get Lock 9. The city needs to step up and get it going. Thank you.
My name is Jerry Burkhardt. I live at 1003 Westview Drive, and I spoke Thursday and talked about some facts and figures, but what's really neat is this could be really, really cool. And who doesn't like cool stuff? People will come. It'll be great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You know, Mayor Pearson, as I listened to what Jim said and what Lorna said and others, you know, we talk a lot about branding for who we are as a city. And you're right, we're not Sydney, we're not Troy, we're not Dayton. But this, as it has been proposed to us for so many years, has been about branding our city as a riverfront city and what that means. And again, not only for our citizens, but as a destination for people from all over the place. And this is how we move forward as a city, is through branding ourselves, claiming that, being proud of it, and moving on. Our city has struggled so much with self-pride. This is something that we can grab onto and be proud of and move ourselves forward.
Thank you. All right.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Jim Edmonds with RCS Construction. We're the developers that are working across the street at Lock 9, and we just purchased the Piqua Mall in a partnership with another group. So working a lot there, and hopefully share some more information soon. But the Lock 9 Park is transformational for the community, I think, and really for the townhomes across the street. The scenic views that we think it'll create is really necessary to get the housing values up to really where they need to be. We've got the brewery, we've got the coffee shop, we've got the trails, we need the park. I hope you guys vote in favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sharon.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Samani. I live at 9515 Brenrick Drive here in Piqua. I hadn't planned on saying anything this evening, but after coming and hearing all my friends and some of my family members and so on get up here, I just wanted to say, I'm not here to look for chickens in my backyard. I'm going to preface that right now. You've heard enough about chickens. Yeah. What I'm here to talk about is that I grew up here in Piqua. I graduated from Piqua High School, and I was gone for a while in Illinois and out east. And when my husband and my daughter and I came back here to Piqua, I was just so pleased to see all the development that was taking place and with the hotel and so on. And I can recall several years ago when Gary Huff and Chris Schmeezing and others took groups of us, focus groups around the city to show us what the potential was for Lock 9 and so on. We saw beautiful renderings at the hotel and so on. I remember Chris taking us down to the Zollinger building. I was so pumped up, so excited for the prospects of what was going to happen here in Piqua. And I haven't given up on that dream yet. I would urge you all to approve this program tonight, and I look forward to seeing what else you can do in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
evening, Commissioners. I'm Dan French, 1127 North Sunset. I hadn't planned to speak at this point in the evening, but in listening to what other people have said, because I do have specific questions for later on, but in remembering what the hotel project went through, I'm remembering that there were, I think, 5 times when there was a vote taken and the hotel project passed by 1 vote. And thank goodness it did. When you talk about the branding of the city of Piqua, and you look at one of the TV stations, what do they show for Piqua? They show the hotel building, the Fort Piqua Plaza. If we move ahead, what are they going to show? Hopefully they'll still show the Fort Piqua Plaza, but then they will also show Lock 9 Park. And I mean, you're about to make a decision, I hope, to approve this thing. There's questions about the funding. There's, can we afford it? Can we not afford it? Are we just as good as somebody else? Why can't we be just as good as Troy or Sydney or any other place? That's sort of silly thinking, in my opinion. Why can't we be as good as we can be? Why do we think that we can't afford something that we've worked hard to be able to afford, and we've promised ourselves and many other people this project for lots of years? So I think since this vote you're about to take is probably going to either approve and move the project forward or kill it, that's pretty basic. And if you kill it, then we're all going to go home and go, damn, we could have had a V8. If you approve it, then we have other questions, we have other hurdles to surmount and decisions to make and so forth. But as long as you're moving forward, you can deal with these other decisions and questions and problems. And if you quit now, well, then you've just plain old quit. And so I urge you to move ahead and approve this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Burkhardt. I live with Dr. Burkhardt, 1003 Westview Drive. So we converse, and we converse a lot as we travel and go places. And to see the pictures and to have heard over the years what it could be, every time we see all those other places, not wanting to be them, we just get excited thinking, we're going to come home and it's going to happen here. It is such a beautiful setting. And our town embraced us 30-some years ago. People took in our kids. We all know each other. We help each other. It is a wonderful small town to live in. And we're all going to enjoy it, but the people coming to see our small town, they are going to be blown away. And it's the time to do that. We put those pieces in place. We've offered people to come and create their own company businesses, invest in homes here, be a part of our schools, our fundraisers. I miss Rock Piqua not being there. Just the events and the excitement that happen and what our schedule in a whole year can become that centers around this downtown. So it really is a time to say to you, you've already put it in place, just go ahead and finish it. Make that decision that's the right decision. It's for our community, it's for us, it's our kids, it's everyone. It's green space. It's creative, beautiful green space that you can enjoy at so many levels. I ask you to pass it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Since I'm the person who's raised the concern about the financing process, I am convinced at this point that my questions can be answered and that we can have a process where we can examine some of the basic issues that I think are still present for the project. That is not a yes or no on the project. It's a question about finances and how we resolve them and where the money comes from and how we appropriate it. And I'm looking forward. City manager has offered an opportunity for me to come to speed on some of those questions, and I'm prepared to look into those things and start to see if I can resolve some issues that I have with that.
All right. Anybody else have a comment? At this time, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to suspend the 3 reading rule.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We need a motion to adopt ordinance number O-4-23.
I make a motion, we adopt ordinance O-4-23, and I do it in a celebratory manner.
And I'll second it.
Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pearson,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Lee,
Aye.
Commissioner Hines,
Aye.
Commissioner Grissom,
Aye.
Commissioner Vetter.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's move to resolution number R-64-23.
I'll make a motion to untable that resolution.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to untable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I need a motion to adopt resolution
Well,
number.
can she read it? She need to read it.
Please read it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A resolution awarding a construction manager as constructor contract to ATCS Incorporated for Lock 9 Park improvements.
All right. So at this point, are there any questions or concerns from the commission?
My question is nothing major. I just want it to be explained, the difference between a general contractor and a construction management. Can you do that for me, Chris?
Yep, of course. So you might recall from our previous conversations, we've bid this twice before as a general contractor, typical public infrastructure bidding process where you get a lump sum from a GC. And what we found was that the scope of the work and some of the unique qualities of this project didn't lend itself very well to some of the things that the GCs are accustomed to. So we took a step back as a team. We looked at the scope of work and the way the bid package was put together, looked at the options available to us, and determined that a construction manager as constructor would give us the advantage of having that person be essentially a part of the team to allow us to figure out the best way to complete each element of the project in the most cost-effective manner. So we advertised it that way. We received 2 proposals. Both parties were interviewed, and the committee determined that the preferred contractor is ATCS. So what you have before you this evening is a request to authorize a contract with ATCS so that we can proceed with this phase of the work. The primary difference is what I just stated, is that they will help through the process bidding each element of the park project independently, so that you can realize the best bottom line at the end of the day. You can get the most value for your dollar in terms of completing the project to produce the outcome that you desire, and contain the cost at every opportunity that presents itself. Whereas with the GC approach, you get one contractor, one final number, and that's what you're going to pay. And that we honestly, at the end of the day, feel like this is a much better approach to this project, and probably is the way it should have been packaged to begin with.
Thank you.
Does that help?
The only comment I have, and I want to state this again, I stated this on Thursday, I am thrilled that we have so many local people part of this. Again, it's people in our community working for the betterment of our community. We have been looking for this for a long time, for our local people to invest here in our community. And I couldn't be more excited about the fact that you all are going to be the ones to do this. So
It's not a conflict of interest.
it is not a conflict of interest.
As far as I'm concerned, so.
Right. All right. Any other comments from our citizens?
Jeff Lang again. I came off the cemetery board as a representative of Washington Township as a trustee back at the end of December. Mayor Pearson is still on the board, and the mayor and I and one other person on the board. was going through all the initiatives to put a maintenance building in for Forest Hill Cemetery and Arboretum. And I didn't know Mr. Schallenberger back there in the back or Mr. Holzkamp until just Thursday night when I met them both. But I'm basing what I believe these gentlemen do, local gentlemen do for us, to be very good because we have a beautiful maintenance building up there in the cemetery now.
We do.
And I thank them for putting that up for us so that we don't have to have our workers and everything go across State Route 66. And we have everything in-house on the cemetery property. So I think they did a great job there. So if that's any indication of what these gentlemen can do, as Chris has given them the nod to move forward, and hopefully you all will too. And to Commissioner Hines' statement, I am so glad to see local folks in here on the work on a local project. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Good evening, Jeremy Sollenberger, 128 East Water.
Andrew Hillskamp.
One thing that we wanted to point out, and a positive, and Chris, to kind of follow up on your question, the one positive of a construction manager, especially in this scenario, is the city will see every dollar that is spent on this project, all bids, direct costs. We are working for a fixed rate, which has already been discussed, but then every contractor that is selected and the scope of work, they will have an input on all the costs that are spent. There is nothing hidden in that. It's a very transparent, and it also allows us to tweak the project as we go through as we go through it. If there's an unforeseen, if there's anything like that, the city has the ability to control all the financing all the way through. So just one more point I wanted to follow up with on that.
Thank you very much for telling me that. So I just wanted everybody to understand the difference between the two and why this is probably preferable for this project. And
It's a
you're
tricky
explaining
question.
it. So, but I just wanted everybody to understand that. And you guys are not a conflict of interest. You're local, you're investing in our community, and you're working to make it better. So I appreciate you putting the bid out there and doing what you're doing. So thank you guys. Thanks for coming forward and explaining that as well. So
Thank you. We appreciate the opportunity.
Any questions for us on anything else while we're up here?
I just wanted to make the comment that, yes, you did build the building, the maintenance building at the cemetery, but the 3 board members that serve that cemetery were so grateful for your expertise, for your hand-holding through that entire process, for the construction meetings, the sit-downs we had to go through every phase of that building. It's nothing like Lock Park is going to be, but if any of you have an opportunity, you need to stop out and take a look at the building that these 2 guys built for us. And we so appreciate all your hard work and dedication to that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just add kind of on what Jeremy said. You know, our company title is American Trademark Construction Services. We build things, but we also provide a service. Sure. And one of the things we're going to do for the city is provide the service of trying to make sure the citizens, taxpayers, we're taxpayers as well, are getting their best bang for their buck. So, you know, we looked at the project initially as a general contractor, like I said last week, and realized that the city was not getting best value out of a general contractor. We feel that the CM was the best way to go, and I'm glad that the city went that route, and I assure you that you will be getting the best for your taxpayers' dollars. So, thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
appreciate you.
Any other comments?
Hello. We just wanted to come up and thank you all for your consideration for the project and for investing in the community. And we just wanted to give you our word that we promise that we're going to put our heart and soul into being the next door neighbors to Lock 9 and make you as proud as we can. And we also wanted to thank the construction company for being involved and helping this project go ahead.
No drunk kayakers or?
Not if we can help it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Still Dan French, still on Sunset Drive. I've been through all 52 pages of the attachment and the contract and so forth. My brother was an architect, so I'm familiar with the AIA standard contracts. This one is a little more lengthy and specific than some of the simpler ones, but that's fine for this kind of a project. My concern are a couple-fold. We talked about the question of finances and how they're going to come up, and the management of the contract, the things that are in, the things that are out. There's going to be a lot of decisions to be made between now and June of 2024, when the contract predicts that it will be done, even if there's 6 weeks, I think it is, of non-activity in the wintertime, which, if we're lucky, maybe that time will be shortened. But I'm concerned, having run projects myself, pages 51 and 52 of the contract are listed as a contract addendum, but really what they are is a contract deduction of all kinds of things that probably would be nice to have in the project, but are being taken out probably to meet a financial goal. That's how these things usually work. And my only concern to you all and to Chris and to Paul and other people is, as this project goes forward, some of the things that are coming out of here will make the difference between a finished product that we can really smile and be happy about, and one where we could say, it could have been better. And I understand the need to meet a financial goal. That's the way the world works, except for the federal government. But that's a different subject. I just urge you all to look at this, and for Chris and Paul and the people from the construction company to look at these things that are being taken out to meet a dollar goal, and to see how to get them back in again, so that when we're really done with this project come next June or whenever, it is as good as it wanted to be in the first place. And I'm also recognizing sort of a thorn in my side, that we're taking money out of the Parks Department while we are allowing a city asset, a historical city asset, namely the Hance Pavilion, to continue to deteriorate. And I hate to see us do that, and you all have the ability to talk to that issue. But that's a different subject, but it's one that is relevant because this is Parks Department money that is going to move forward with this very wonderful project. I'm completely in favor of the project. I just want to see it turn out as well as it possibly can, and that's up to Chris and Paul and the contractors, and you all as the supervisors, the board of directors, to see that as much of what's being taken out on page 52 can be put back in, so when we're done, we're really, 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 really happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions?
I would like to see some of those things go back in that are being taken off, but absent grant money or great cost savings, we have to do our due diligence. So I'm comfortable with making a motion at this time to approve the resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution R-64-23 is passed. It's time now for our public comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the City Commission regarding agenda items, issues, or to provide information. Comments are requested to be limited to 5 minutes, and specific questions should be addressed to the City Manager's office. Anybody have a comment?
That works. They're commented out. Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll go on to Commissioners' comments.
What about city
Mr.
manager?
Hines.
City manager?
He's not on the agenda tonight.
There's no report this evening, so we can go home and eat
No
dinner.
report? Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
I think back to 2014 when I chaired the Safety Service Levy, and that's what got me really interested in this city. I am not born or raised here. I moved here in the fall of 2008 and ran for public office because I believed in this dream of Lock 9. It's a long time coming. COVID hit and we had to wait and we had to wait. Nothing happens fast enough sometimes when it comes to city government, but I'm extremely proud of the decision that we made tonight. I'm extremely proud at how our citizens are coming forward, stating how they feel, and I'm extremely proud that we are stepping out and making a statement as to who we are as a city. I could not be happier and also very emotional about this, but it's a good day in the city of Piqua, and I look forward to summer weather, drinking beer on the back patio, and enjoying all the amenities that our wonderful town has with our businesses and our shops. And I just could not be prouder of the city of Piqua right now. So thank you.
Mr. Grissom.
First start, I apologize for my absence last week.
No, you were on
Yeah,
vacation.
wish I could have been here.
We understand. Yeah.
Had a little suntan.
Right. I do think it's good doing our due diligence, looking at the financials closely before making some of those decisions. I don't think that's a bad thing. I know this has been a project that's been long coming, and I honestly feel you can't cut your way to success. And so I think it's opportune to invest in your city and yourselves, and like I said, bring community. I really appreciate all the comments tonight, and I wholeheartedly stand behind them. And I think it's one thing we've talked about was bringing community and bringing people together. And how do you do that? And how do you be proud of your city and get more people invested? And I think this is a step in the right direction. And to do it locally, we've always wanted to support that and bring it out. Working with downtown and Main Street, I think it's just all around going to be positive. So our return on investment, I know it's money up front. I think it's going to come back tenfold. It's already started. And I think in the future, we're going to look back and say, why did we even, why did it even come to a question? So, no, overall, I'm happy with moving forward, and I appreciate everyone coming out tonight and voicing their concerns and their opinions.
Vice Mayor Lee.
Hey, I'm glad that people voiced their concerns, and whether you came out and said something or if you sent me a message, your concerns are valid. The questions I asked tonight were based in part on some of the questions that I was asked. Whether you were for this or not necessarily against it, but want us to do our due diligence, you ask the right questions. And if we don't have the financial wherewithal, we probably shouldn't be doing this. So asking that question is not a bad question to ask. I think it's a great question to ask. And I've had several people ask me that, so that's why I asked. And then also, I truly believe that local options for doing this are probably the best, and they are definitely not a conflict of interest. These people are invested, they're taxpayers, like they said, and they love the city as much as we do. And so I'm just glad that we've got some local options, and I think this is going to be a great project. I can see myself walking grandkids down there, and I'm not getting in a kayak, but they can. But
We'll tip you over.
Exactly, that's my problem. That's my problem. I just think it's going to be great. I really do. It's good for the city. We don't have to be Troy. We're Piqua. Mm-hmm. We don't have to be Sydney. We are Piqua. We will brand ourselves. All right? And with everybody's support and all those people who came out and came up and messaged us, if we all support this thing, who knows where it will go. Mm-hmm. So appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers and opinions and statements. And I'm just glad this is going to happen. And I look forward, like Mr. French said, there's a lot of little decisions that are going to be coming up, and we've got to be on it. So, I mean, this job gets a little bit dicier in the future, but I welcome the challenge because it's for the future of the city. So I'm good to go. I'm ready to take it on. So, and hopefully we can get some of those amenities and things back into the project, but we'll see. So, and that's all I've got to say.
Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity to explore some of the financial questions that I've been asking about, not only this project, but finances in general, and look forward to the opportunity to do that. I think we've had conversations behind the scenes about some of those issues, and I think they are valid for me as the newbie on the commission, but I'm convinced they're valuable for all. So look forward to the opportunity to continue that discussion and to maybe make some suggestions that I think are valid as we do our due diligence on this project and others as well. So look forward to that. Thank you.
Can I add something real quick? I really wanted to emphasize too, and when we were talking about some of the financials things, I just want to commend the city staff on this project and everything they've done. We had a strategic meeting not too long ago, in the cohesion between the departments, ourselves, and working together. If there's any concerns with some of those financials, I know they'll work it out. I have full confidence in that. They are doing what is best for the city, and I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done up to this point and bringing it together. Thanks. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No problem, no problem. I just wanted to say thank you for all your commitment to this project, for the city staff and their commitment, to the commissioners for their hard work, and the questions that were raised. This is going to be a great project. We own it. We are Piqua. And next year, we are going to be entertaining all of our neighbors at our Riverway Summit. We have the city that are going to show off our Lock 9 project. Representatives from Sydney all the way to Hamilton will be here for that great summit. So it'll be a great opportunity for us to show everybody what we've done and what we now own. Thank you. Thank you all. I'd like a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion